Hello, it's Keith at Redwood Groves, and today the goal is to get the sawmill finally up and all set up and running. Had a lot of priorities, I guess, and this has been low, unfortunately, but we did get it in a spot. We decided to put it here on this rock versus originally was putting on this dirt over here, and this will be at least it's a good temporary spot, nice solid foundation. It'll be easy to blow off the sawdust and everything off this rock, and we did get it level. I found it was pretty easy to get it set up, partially get all the pieces bolted together. They say to level them as you're going along. I don't know, one person, that wasn't really easy for me, so I put all of them together and got the pins lined up and got the bolts tightened up so everything was tight here, and then as you can see, they're pretty nice and level. I did have to take some blocks that I had, some man-made stone, and put underneath these legs because it does tip down, but we are nice and level side to side and front to back. So at this point in time, we're going to leave that the rough leveling, and time to start putting all the brackets on and the rope to get the drive mechanism going and get the saw blade on. Okay, so we got the machine more or less balanced or level. In the direction it shows you to take some strings, and one of the things I would recommend, I tried using some washers, and that worked okay, but I kept getting high spots in the middle, and when I talked to Wood-Mizer, they said, well, put a log on there and try to push that down and see if that'll help get it going down, because I had raised the legs to try to get the stand to drop, but it wouldn't drop. I loosened the bolts. So what I ended up doing is I brought the carriage down, and that lowered it down a little bit, tightened everything back up, pushed the saw carriage back, and it seemed to come up a little bit back up again. And so I got a little confused, and the real main issue is my string. I didn't pull it tight enough. So you think about that, that's 18 foot. You got to have that really taut so that it doesn't dip in the middle. So when you're looking at this string, you're going to have some dip in the middle unless you're using something that doesn't stretch, and maybe that's what you should use, is some nylon string or something. I'm just using some nylon cord, but this is a construction cord and it is flexible, stretchable. I would also recommend using a higher spacer. I ended up going with the nut they use for the leveling legs to put on there, which gets it up a little higher. So when you've got 3/4 of an inch and you only got a 16th dip, it doesn't seem so drastic as when you've only got an 1/8 inch and you got a 16th dip. It lets you look and see what's really kind of going on a little better. And but that's my recommendation if you're trying to level your saw out, is to bring the saw down and put it into the center if you got it so that it's not dropping, and loosen up the bolts so that the carriage somebody can wiggle, kind of find a happier medium and get lowered down so you get it going. But I'm going to call this fairly level right now, and I'm going to start running some start sawing through this. When I talked to Wood-Mizer, the thing they said is, worst case scenario is if any discrepancy when you saw the top, and then the next ones after that, the saw is going to be running true and parallel. So you're going to have the same thickness on each board. The only board that may have any variance would be the bottom board. So we'll take a look and see what's going on once we actually start doing some sawing and run some boards through here and see what's going on. Okay, so here's another thing they don't really talk to you about in the manual. If you have your pulley set up in the figure 8, so it comes down through here, it goes in the inside pulley, comes up, goes around the drive pulley, comes back down, and goes, actually I'm sorry, it comes on the closest pulley here, goes up, goes around the drive, comes back, and goes around. And it really doesn't matter which way you pull it on the two pulleys on the other side there. But if you do it like that drive, and you find out you have variable speed coming back and full speed going forward, then you have to switch the drive motor. I just switched the 2 drives here. I talked to their engineer and he said, well, when they switch to a figure 8 format, they need to put in the manual that if it's going backwards, just change the drive motor. Now, I just changed the 2 wires, the DC drive, green should be ground, it's now showing positive, negative. You could go in the control box if you're really anal enough and you really want blue to be positive and green to be your ground. But for me, all I want to do is when I push it forward, I have control speed when I'm trying to cut and go backwards, and I know I did it, so that's all I'm going to do for here. So if you get your unit and you find out you have that issue, be on the lookout for it and be aware you can change it just like that. If you like, give me the thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button, and I hope you have a wonderful day.